Hello everyone, today I'm sharing ridiculous phrases that women should stop saying because you sound stupid. I know, it's so harsh, isn't it? And I also want to start off by saying I'm not perfect. No. I am not. I say things wrong all the time, whether it be grammatically or maybe I just say it in a bad way and it's interpreted wrong. So I feel you here. These are just some phrases that I hear all the time, like almost on a daily basis. And I always am just like, oh, it just doesn't sound good. And I don't think this video is even gonna perform that well. I was just inspired to film it. So give this video a thumbs up, maybe just so it gets some love. And I used to film videos kind of more like this when I started, a little more controversial, just speaking my mind, you know? And then as I've grown, it's like, I can't say that. And here we are. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it how it is. Purely my thoughts, but also I'm not perfect either. So let's get started. So the first phrase is totally normal. In fact, sometimes I even still catch myself saying it. And every time I do, I'm like, no, do not say this, Shea. And it's all my mom's fault. She told me this back when I was a child and I've thought about it ever since, every single time. Like I can't, okay, let me just tell you what it is. It's when somebody says, to be totally honest, ... or to be honest, whatever. It makes you sound like right now you're being honest, but normally you're not. Does that make sense? And so for example, I catch myself, I'll hold up a product or whatever and be like, so to be honest, this really is like the best brush. So that makes it sound like other products that I hold up, I'm not being honest. So, and I catch people saying it all the time. So I'm like,
so does that mean you're not normally honest?
And I don't think people necessarily think about it. I think some people think about it like that and some people don't. So again, I've never heard anyone else mention that. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so the last phrase doesn't really make you sound stupid, but the next few do. Yeah, and you're not stupid, no. Like, you just might sound stupid. I sound stupid all the time, and I put it out there for hundreds of thousands, if not millions to see, and then it's just there for people to watch and make fun of me over and over again. Anyway, the next phrase is, I could care less. It's really, I couldn't care less, because if you could care less, then you could care less, meaning you do in fact care. So I feel like with this next one, I'm legitimately going to offend a lot of people. It's just a word that I hear so many people say wrong. And it's especially. It's especially. I have no idea where this came from because it's not a word that has an X in it. Like I don't even know why people say this. But I hear it almost on a daily basis. And I know that there are certain words or phrases out there that depending on where you live, you might say it differently or pronounce it differently. For example, my mom's been on my case for this one lately. Like there's garage and garage. I say garage, but I think it really is garage. But like tomato, whatever. But like especially, that's just wrong. All right, this next phrase, like what I'm about to say about it, I feel like many of you already know deep down inside, but yet you still sometimes say it. So this is just like a subtle like reinforcement. But never say, no offense, but, and then proceed to essentially hurt the person's feelings. Because if you genuinely don't want to hurt someone's feelings and you genuinely don't want to come across the wrong way, never start out with no offense, but can you ever remember a time someone started out with that and it didn't hurt your feelings? Like seriously. So if you actually want to be mean, start out with that. That's a good way. It's just passive aggressive. That's just really what it comes down to. So I do think there are some people out there that use that phrase as a buffer to lead into a conversation. And it's just not good. This next phrase I just hear all the time in different ways, but the gist of it is, this gives me anxiety, or that gives me anxiety. I have anxiety. And okay, anxiety is a real thing, like legitimately a real thing. And I think years ago probably wasn't talked about as much as it is now. I mean, I know it wasn't talked about as much as it is now, but I feel like there's so many people that just use that as such a general term and they really don't suffer from anxiety. It just kind of discredits other people that actually suffer with it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I get anxiety really only, like genuinely only about like dental stuff and all of that like, that I go through. But everything else in my life, like I don't ever really mention it. I try not to because I just feel like it's not really true and I'm just generalizing. Hopefully that comes across okay. And again, that is just something to kind of keep in mind moving forward. It is what it is. I hate this phrase. I don't know why. I've always hated this phrase. I just feel like no matter how you use it, it just sounds stupid. So say you're in a really difficult situation, you don't know what to do, and you're just like, it is what it is. You're giving up. whatever. And then say someone else is going through a hard time. And then you respond to them, well, it is what it is. Like, cool, like, rude. I just feel like it's a phrase that when someone doesn't know what to say, that's how they respond. I just don't like it. The next phrase is just saying, like slang. I really see this with people on social media. What's so ironic is they really don't say anything. I always see people posting like a meme or a cartoon or some image that usually is controversial in nature. Like it's trying to like drive their personal belief about something, which fine, like whatever. Like I don't do that kind of stuff, but they really say nothing. But then as the caption, they will put, just saying, and it's just so ironic. Before I move on to the next phrase, I just wanted to again reiterate, I am so sorry if this is coming across really negative and mean and petty. I think it is. So I'm sorry. I don't like to put out negative videos. I'm just kind of talking freely. But the next phrase that I feel like you should never say to somebody is, I could never do that. And people used to say that to me all the time, especially when we first got married, like Josh and I got married. He was an airline pilot and he was never home. Like he was home maybe 2 or 3 times a month. And I remember talking to a lot of my college friends on the phone and I was just like crying and like, I never see my husband. And they were always like, their response was always like, I could never do that. And I always just thought like, yes, you could. Like, if you have to do it, you have to do it. And then I got a big girl job, like my office job. It was great job, but my schedule required me to wake up every day, Monday through Friday at 4 a.m. super early. Again, a lot of my friends would say to me, I could never do that. And it's just like, yes, you could. If you have to do something, you have to do it. And there you have it. Those are the ridiculous phrases that women should never say, at least in my opinion. I'm sure you've thought of some too. I know you did. So put them down in the comments section. I would love to see those. And then while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up because it probably needs it. And I'll see you very soon in my next one.